You know, there's a real good matchup size-wise. These two teams very similar. ETSU a lot of times likes to post their guards as Smith scores on the roll off the two-man game, but they like to take their guards down low and post up smaller guards for their opponents. But against Kentucky, obviously, very similar in size, so it's giving ETSU a little bit of problems posting up the guards.
Knight sets the offense for Kentucky. And that's a tough matchup down low for Brown. Jones didn't get a good look at it, but look at him hustle and tie him up. And on the alternate possession, it'll go to the Cats, but not before we take this break. Kentucky and East Tennessee State going back and forth in the Bluegrass. Be sure to join Gary Gupton and Christy Thomas Sunday, November the 21st at 1 with Coach Matthew Mitchell and his UK women's basketball team take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. That's Sunday, November 21st, live at 1 p.m. right here on the Big Blue Sports Network. Matthew Mitchell and his club getting off to a great start for the regular season as they won over Morehead State this morning, a game that had a big crowd at Memorial Coliseum. But Kyle, this big crowd at Rupp Arena coming to its feet early because of the play of Terrence Jones.
Terrence Jones has been very active. You see, he goes up a little early on the jump, but manages to hang long enough and use those long arms to tip it in. As you can see, East Tennessee State didn't believe that it exited the cylinder. We're looking for the goaltending call. You know, basketball is a game of adjustments, and each coach trying to make those. Now Jones steps out, hits that three, but I was going to say you might want to come out of that zone because Kentucky has shown the guards shoot the ball very well. All of a sudden go maybe to a man and make the big men beat you, but now Jones steps out and hits the three.
Okay, now when John Calipari said this was going to be a better three-point shooting team as Smith is called for the travel, I don't think he meant 85% three-point shooting, as the Cats are now 6 of 7 from outside the arc, 2 each for Knight and Lamb, 1 each for Miller and Jones. Kentucky, of course, last year, a 30% three-point shooting team. Excuse me, 33%. ETSU, 30% a year ago. Jones thought about it. Boy, look at him go get his own. That's a one-man dribble drive game right there as John Calipari is off the bench, and he loved the effort.
Yeah, give Eloy Vargas a kind of a nod there, too, in the fact that he saw Jones was going to get the rebound, didn't fight him for it, let him get it and put it back in for the finish.
First time we've seen the combination of Vargas and Jones in there together. Salazzo passed up the three. That's a pretty play as he got it to Isaiah Brown, who now becomes the first player in double figures as he has 11.
Back to the zone here for ETSU.
Vargas with his first touch. Nice look from Jones.
That's the one thing you've got to be a little bit careful when you're shooting the ball so well from three. You don't want to get three-point happy. Just kind of take them as they come. Don't just rely on them against that zone. Still attack the seams.
Williams draws the foul, and check out Terrence Jones.
Yeah, the shooter knows better than anyone, they say, and knew the first one was not going in, the second one as well, but stood with it. Quick bounce off his feet, got it to go.
You don't want to use cliches or anything as you look at Michael Williams, but John Calipari has somehow found another gear for Terrence Jones, or Jones found it himself. Anyway, they found it and they've shifted into it.
And I think you kind of have to give both a little bit of credit. I mean, the coaches can get on you, but the player has to be willing to make that extra effort. And to Terrence Jones' credit, you know, he realized he didn't give that good effort that first game in the blue-white scrimmage, but he wanted to prove to his coach that he has that ability. And since then, he has progressed each time out.
Calipari just sent Eloy Vargas back to the bench, and as you saw, reinserted Deron Lamb, who's off to a nice start tonight.
Yeah, now we have Darius Miller in the post position against the zone.
Diagonal pass to Liggins. Nice look. Miller can't convert. Couldn't ask for better execution of the half-court offense, with the exception of the object of the game, and that's to put the ball in the basket.
ETSU kind of a similar offense to what Tennessee runs during the year. Just puts 3 men actually on the baseline, 2 in the block, and just swing it from side to side, run a player off that low post pick.
Salazzo walks, and now unfortunately he has to take that walk past a very unhappy head coach Murray Bartow.
1-3-1 zone this time instead of the 2-3 we saw a little bit earlier.
Credit the Kentucky coaching staff. John Calipari at the shoot-around today said the only time we've seen him play 1-3-1 is never as night hits. But he said we might see some people play 1-3-1 against us after the West Virginia game, but it's a different Kentucky lineup.
A lot more bullets, if you will, loaded in the gun from different spots on the floor.
Brown scores again. He has 13 points here in the first half, and Calipari not happy, and Kentucky getting, I don't know if they got a bench warning or whether John Calipari was asking for a 30-second timeout. In any event, there is a pause in the action as Kentucky leads ETSU. UK Hoop fans, we've got a lot of UK women's basketball action coming your way on the Big Blue Sports Network and Fox Sports. And there you see our next action for the UK men. Boston University in Kentucky coming up on Tuesday, November 30th. Check your local listings for the game in your area. There you see John Calipari. We got an explanation from referee Doug Shows during a timeout. Cal was given a coaching box warning, not because he was yelling at the officials, he was yelling at his own player, but as Doug said, he was about 3-4 feet out on the court. And of course, we have seen Calipari come out on the court during these exhibition games, so he's got to adjust as well. But at the time he gave him the warning, it also happened to be the time for the under 8-minute media timeout, and that was the reason for the stoppage in play.
Right. Again, Kentucky backing the 1-3-1, attacking the 1-3-1, trying to go down and diagonal out, but that time just too soft a pass by Brandon Knight was picked off.
Brown, the man who has been everywhere for ETSU in the first half, got that steal, and there he is in the low box. Nice spin, and good defense by Darius Miller, who got the block. Liggins. And the ball goes off the hands of Sheldon Cooley, and it'll go back to the Cats.
One thing about Brandon Knight you really like when you watch him play is how he takes such good care of the basketball. That time just made this simple pass to DeAndre. DeAndre didn't get the 3 to go down, but didn't try to do anything too fancy. Brandon Knight just made the easy pass and got him a wide open look.
Knight chases it down and then commits the foul as Brown had nice position.
Yeah, a little frustration foul that time.
Yep.
Thought he should have made that runner.
Good hustle by the freshman. There you see Calipari sending Eloy Vargas back into the lineup. He'll replace Brandon Knight. So Kentucky goes with a little bit bigger lineup now. Vargas, Jones, Lamb, Darius Miller, and DeAndre Liggins. If you're just joining us, Josh Harrelson got the start. 2 early fouls. We probably won't see him until the second half. Williams created some space, put up a 3, and then a young fella makes the one mistake you're never supposed to make.
Yeah, you don't want to foul the jump shooter. You want to hand up to try to change the arc of the ball, but that time looks like maybe got him a little bit on the hand. Not a lot of contact there. But again, Kentucky just switching on all 2-man games and picks. Put Jones out there against Williams, but quick enough to react and almost got a piece of it.
Williams has that one rattle out. 6'4" senior out of Manchester, Tennessee. He was the ASUN tournament MVP. He averaged 21 points a game in their tournament run last year.
Yeah, you talk about a guy really getting on a roll down late in the season. That ASUN tournament, he was almost unstoppable.
Again, their leading returning scorer, Tommy Hubbard, still on the bench. He had arthroscopic knee surgery about 4.5 weeks ago.